Hi, Ava.
Hello.
Definitely got the intro ready. And we are live.
Ooh.
Let's find this screen and let's go.
Oh.
I don't need the silver shocker thing up there. Welcome back to another episode of Amsterdam Talk. I got a person that I've been admiring for a while. I love her work. I'm bringing in Love Coach Kings tonight, to share some of her, her insights of the things that she does. But before we get started, you already know I like to talk about some things I've done in my life this week. I really ain't do too much. So we just gonna keep it there. So you ready, Love Coach Kings? Where she go at? It's all good.
I'm here. I'm here.
All good. Oh, you there? You there? I just saw the camera came up.
Yeah, I'm here.
With the nice bun up. Okay. So, like for real, but I don't want to call you Love Coach Kings all night. So I know you got a name or some type of moniker you go by.
Love Coach Kings.
Oh, so you go
but
by
my
Love
name
Coach
is Alicia
Kings.
Malcolm.
Okay.
Yes.
We're gonna call you Love. We're gonna call you Love Coach Kings then. We're gonna call you Love Coach Kings then.
All right.
So I don't know. My viewers probably don't know your work, but I know your work. So how did you get into this line of work that you do?
All right. So this has only been my second interview. So let me break it down, because usually when I tell why I do this business, the second question is why I do it only for Black men. So I'm gonna tie everything in. So I used to work only with Black women, and it was a type of business where I kind of got tired because I realized all the women that I worked for was kind of on this bandwagon of Black men. Can I curse on the show?
You can do whatever you need to say.
All right.
Say whatever you need to say.
Hello. So, a lot of women in that type of niche was always saying, Black men ain't shit. You can't find no good one. No one exists. And I kind of was in a predicament because my father, right, seeing him, he's like 85 now. And he was just a really good role model for what a Black man is supposed to be, where he's not judgmental, he's open, he's honest. However, he was not perfect. But I knew that there was Black men out there that was not counted for, that was always kind of pushed into the nice guy or the friend zone type of thing. And when I would listen to these women that I worked for, it always sounded like the Black men didn't really have a voice. It was kind of her way or the highway type of thing. And I was like, you know what, let me do better. Instead of sitting on this place where I'm helping facilitate, the norm, let me do something different, completely different. So I decided to only work with Black men and to provide a service where Black men start to realize their worth, because we're gonna go a little deep. I kind of decided that the propaganda that public and media push, that, our family structure is weak, you can't, baby mamas, baby daddies, nobody's like solid. That's the propaganda they're trying to push out there. And I know for a fact I've met beautiful families, but the men that I speak to just don't believe that they can even have that. So if I can bridge the gap where Black women feel heard, because all I would hear is everything that they want, but then how Black men receive it is different. So I wanted to be the bridge in the middle where I connect Black women what we wanted, right? In a good, from a good place, not no toxic, nothing like, oh, they got to do this because I was hurt because of that. No, like healthy boundaries that Black women wanted, how to communicate that to Black men. So I was like, you know what? Let me just create a whole niche where I only serve my people and my Black men, and remind them just how amazing they are and how many amazing women out there, right, that also get overlooked. And if we can create that gap where there's two serious people wanting relationships and know how to be whole with it themselves so they can connect with another whole person, let's do it. So it's been 3 years and I haven't looked back. That is why I've done this little business here. And it's been good. It's been really good.
Well, like I said, I've been following your work, and I had posted something yesterday to let them know that you were coming on, just to give, my viewers some type of insight on what you do. And the thing that I posted was about 5 toxic signs of a woman. Basically, just, break that down for me. It was like you were saying, if she lets you know she's doing this, she's really, not really for you, not interested in you, I should say.
Yes. So really that whole video was about teaching men to be vulnerable so you can notice vulnerabilities. And when you notice somebody being vulnerable, you can know when they're being fake. And when a woman tells you something, you have to, well, women and men, right? But men have to be more vigilant because women know how to hide things. They know how to pull them, fake everything, really. That society taught us that we don't bruise a man's ego. So we present ourselves to a man and he may think something different, but she's really saying something else. So in that whole video, I was just trying to give men a different perspective and realize that women are also in a place where, toxic, and when you invite somebody in that's toxic, you have to realize that there's something about you that's enabling a toxic person to come into your realm. And that's how you have this like cycle keep going on. And I wanted to break that. And I wanted men to realize if you just pay attention, right? Take your interest out of it. Take sex, if that's what it is, out of it. Take what you think on the surface that you're the amazing person. Take her off the pedestal and see her for who she really show up as. And then take your notes. You can do that. Women, we're taught to do that. They make sure I have this, you gotta have that, you gotta have that. But for men, society and culture and music teaches you can have whatever you want. And then when you're ready to settle down, then you pick and choose what you want. But a lot of men are running into issues with that because we're in a place now where consciousness is changing and you have to take things into consideration. So if a woman is going to show up authentically, there's signs that you need to dive into to see if this woman is going to play with your time, to play with you, or is really a genuine person showing up, saying, meaning what she says. So that's what that video is about. I hope that's what you was asking.
No. I get it. I totally got the video. I just saw the 5 steps, and it was like one that crossed my boundary because, like, I've heard that, but I've heard this before, and I've been through it. So it's like when she start telling you about other men, it's like, okay, you have to figure this out. Like, listen, she's already established that you're going to that friend zone, so she want to let you know. But at the same hindsight, some men still hang on to that and be like, okay, I want to wear her down. Is that right or wrong to do?
Wrong, because it's the same thing like a Black woman says she gonna control a guy and she's gonna make him marry her. It's control. So even though it's a subtle control, it's like a codependency control. Let me break that down. When a person knows their worth and somebody has shown them that they're not very interested, you're gonna move on because you're thinking from like a mindset, there must be a woman out there who's gonna match my energy. Now, if you stick around and you make the decision to stick around with a person who's kind of showing you half type of thing and telling you like kind of disrespectful things that's crossing your boundaries, and she don't care about it, then it goes to show where she puts you, where she positions you in her priority list. So if a guy is going to accept that and wait around, it's not right, because you're settling and you're kind of teaching her how to treat you, which is, if she don't really sure about whoever else is in that on our roster, she's not sure about them, it's okay, because you're going to be around. So you a fallback dude. So you're still on our roster. She'll probably never have sex with you, but you leave yourself open to her abuse. So she'll keep you around and keep you hopeful and keep you going on trips and picking her up in random places, random times in that friend zone. And you're allowing that disrespect. So if you allow somebody to disrespect you, no, it can't be right.
Which is true. You definitely can't allow, that situation to happen, but there's guys that will just hang on and say, hey, I'm just gonna hang on and wear her down. And then, so if you do stick around and you wear her down and she decides to give in, so basically what I got out of it was that she just settled for you because you was just
absolutely there. And a lot of people settle for people and then get in a situation where they have kids with them, and then they at war, like fighting, really fighting and putting things in jeopardy. Like that is not needed. When you settle for somebody, you're literally going to always be looking for the next bit. Even if you're not a cheater, you're not going to like cross that boundary. You knowing that she settled for you and vice versa, both of you are not going to be 2 foot in. You're not, because you're always going to be thinking, damn, when she do act up and she do keep disrespecting you, because it's not going to stop because she chose you, right? When she keep doing it, you're going to be like, damn, you're going to get to a point where you can't do it no more. And you're going to realize, I need to walk away. And she's always going to look for the next bit because she's already settling. So the second she finds somebody that offer a little bit of anything different than you are, she gone. And it happens every day. So the point of settling is you're really just extending your heartbreak, because now you're going to have to heal double time because you really betrayed yourself. Because you knew at some point you weren't supposed to be doing that with her and she was not the one. And now she's still left you. That's why a lot of people just go into this shell and like cross off dating. I'm not going to date no more. I can't find nobody. But you got to check what type of energy are you putting out there? Are you leaving yourself open for people to abuse you? And a lot of people are. So hopefully that's not your situation though.
After no. That's not my situation. It's not my situation, but I'm just stating that, I'm glad you mentioned, about, you looking at yourself as the problem, because I definitely remember you dropping a post about sometimes the problem with dating isn't you, it's who you like to date. And I've mentioned this tireless times to the group. When you keep dating someone as this, you keep dating the same type of person over and over, you're going to get the same result.
Yep. Yes.
So why do individuals not decide to seek change, seek another option? Well, not another option, but seek something different from what you're prior to. Like, if you're consistently wanting to date that 6'1" man, and everybody that you dated 6'1" and bigger treats you the same way, why not come down to like that 5'6" guy?
Well, we live in an egotistic world though, where everything is instant validation. And on social media, as Black women, we're taught that you should kind of skip boat right now, kind of go elsewhere and figure it out. And if not, then you need the 6'3" basketball player, rapper type of thing. And that's not realistic. But people are not conscious yet that they want different. A lot of people will complain about it. You'll hear people say, oh, I'm sick of this. I'm not going to be with her again. That, and they take them back. People like to say that they want change, but not everybody is going to do it. And when you have social media that is confirming that fear, that there is no better out there, you just kind of stay with yourself and kind of just live in that cycle of toxic relationships. But it always takes, in my opinion, the men that I've worked with, it always took them going through a situation where they can't do it no more. They've allowed so many women to walk over them. And yeah, women, you can't necessarily blame women though, because we have our own situation over here. And until we heal, you're not going to find a woman that is going to meet you on the type of frequency you hoping to be on. You got to already be on that. You got to like attract what it is that you want. So if a woman she really wants love, but she's tainted by social media, she thinks she needs to go on vacations, she don't care who the man is, she just want to go on vacations, she's going to attract that man who is for that. And it's going to get her to a point after a while, she has to face the fact that she does want love. Same thing with men. Men will overcompensate because they don't feel like they're really worth that amazing woman. They don't think she's going to ever show up, whoever they've engineered her to be. So they settle and they will spend all their money on a woman who will give them the on the surface things, you know? But at the end of the day, it's going to take maybe all their money, all their time with women who didn't want to serve them in that way for them to realize, damn, all right, I do want different. But people are going to be stuck where they are. You got to meet people where they are and you cannot change them. Even though your intentions are great to be in a relationship, you will meet a woman who's on the surface and you're like, you'll hear her say, I've been through so many bad relationships. I'm tired of it. I want a really good man. And you may be a really good man and you show up consciously. She's not there yet. It's nice to say it because you see it on social media, people going on vacations and this fake kind of, thing about love. Real life relationships, though, it takes a lot more than just, facade. So I don't know, until that person realizes that they have to, again, turn inwards and change their frequency and change their law of attraction, what they're attracting to them, then they're always going to be kind of dating somebody who could do better and want them to choose them, but won't. And then they'll be stuck all over again.
Right. And I'm glad you brought up social media as well, because we had this conversation probably 3 weeks ago. Social media tells us that this world we live in, this is not our grandparents where everybody could just take care of bills, where now you have people splitting 50-50. And social media tells you that you shouldn't do it. How do you get across with that then?
I feel like people need to turn back inwards, right? If you are a guy, you're in a committed relationship, things can happen. And people don't ever think about that part where things can happen. You'll be with a woman and let's say you lose your job tomorrow, right? Crazy. Right. That can happen. And it has happened this last year. And if she cannot support both of you for even if it's a little time until you pick back up, if that's where you say you want to be the provider, if she can't provide for you, what is that going to make you feel like mentally, emotionally? That's the struggle that Black men go through every single day, of feeling like their only two worth values is provision and protection. And once you can't do none of those, then you don't feel valid. But at the end of the day, if you can't be those as a human being, some days you're not going to want to show up as a leader and take control. Are you going to want a woman who can pick up, can be your shoulder, can provide those things? People don't really think about that aspect of like, do you want a person that's going to be equal to you, or somebody who's going to kind of just, you have to be clear with what it is that you want. Social media cannot depict that. You got to see what your situation is. You got to know what you value. Do you want a woman that is going to pick up if she needs be? If you want to split 50-50, it has to be unique to you. Not you, but like generally.
No, I get you.
Yeah, but we rely too much on social media for real life things, real life connection. Connection cannot be touched digitally. That's something that's authentic and genuine to us. And we rely way too much on social media. So I want to bring everybody back.
But you know how that goes though. If it's not on social media, it's
reality. It's reality. Yeah, I get it. I get it's reality. But again, if you in a situation where you want different, then you're going to do different, right?
Right. Yeah, you gotta do different.
And the mass follows social media. So if different would be you tapping into completely, what I would recommend for all my clients is disconnect. Find out what the hell you want. you know, versus what you think, what you see on social media. And Black love is amazing, but Black love is not for everybody. They're not, you know, it takes a different type of commitment. And the aesthetics of Black love and pictures and cute vacations, like that's nice, but that comes with progress and years of going back and forth. That's commitment. So you really got to turn in and be like, yo, what the hell do I want? Because the second you're not sure about what you want from a woman, not sure a woman is going to show up. That's what I tell everybody. That's what I tell everybody.
That is good stuff right there. But well, not but I definitely want to, you know, tap into what I posted earlier with the promo for this and how you spoke about, you know, women that really are into you. They want you to open up, but in society, as a Black man, we're not allowed to show any weakness. We're not allowed to have any emotions. I'm not allowed to come to you, Love Coach Kings, at the end of the night and say, sweetie, my day is fucked up. I'm broke down. You know, I'm tired. I can't show that. I got to come in and be strong. How do we do that? You know, how do we get through that?
So that's another stigma that we need to destroy, that Black men need to be strong 24/7. That is not true. All right. But you guys are programmed for that. Like how Black women are programmed for other things. You guys are programmed to show up, leadership, do this, take care of that, be there for everybody. That's a lot. That's a lot. And Black women have their same issues, but that's a lot. You're still human at the end of the day. So you kind of have to stand up for yourself at some point and be like, listen, I'm fucking drowning, you know?
Right.
And do not be afraid of rejection. That's what everybody, when I hear that question, the biggest thing is people are so afraid to be rejected. They're so afraid to be vulnerable because if that person see them as soft or see them as, you know, whatever, you know, it's going to be an insult. That is a compliment. I need more people to accept rejection. That's a woman. If you are open to her and you break down and you cry, you're like, babe, I need support, and she laughs at you or she belittles you, that goes to speak to her character. That's not a woman you want to be with. But some people are so afraid to like be themselves because they're afraid of rejection. We got to get rid of that. Rejection plays a part in every single aspect of our lives, career, fitness, everything. You have to fail to know that you're making strides. But if you are so afraid, if you're in a relationship right now, whoever I'm talking to, if you're in a relationship right now and you are so afraid to just sigh around your woman, afraid, you kind of feel like you're walking on eggshells, you can't really tell her how you feel, think about that. Aren't you at a place where you're tired, where you want somebody to just hold you and just like make you, you know, replenish you emotionally, spiritually? That needs to be a need for 2021. Like, do not be afraid for a woman to tell you that you a bitch or you soft or whatever. All right, bye. Because this is a woman that you're going to raise a family with and kids with, right? Especially Black men, you get a Black son. We need to end this whole thing of Black men can't cry. That's ridiculous. So in order for that change to be implemented in our kids, we got to start with that. And we cannot fear rejection from people. Forget that. If that person don't want to show up for you, that's not the person for you. And it's okay. It's okay to have that standard and that boundary. But you got to be realistic with yourself and be like, is this what I want? And if it's not, you are responsible if you stay there. Ain't nobody else. Nobody else responsibility.
Right. I'm gonna answer this question. One of the fans asked, "Where you from? Where you from?" They hear the accent.
I'm from Jamaica. I've been here since 2014, so not that long, but long enough. Yeah.
Right. I totally get you. But when we speak of that now, the thing is, when you open up, and you know, you open up and you tell everything you need to tell, and you know, you go through an argument. And she uses what you told her against you.
That's like, a weak woman. That's a weak what? That's a weak woman. Yes. How I see it is if you are vulnerable with anybody, you don't even have to be a woman, it could be a teacher, whoever you hold confidence with, and you told them something about yourself, right? Vulnerable spot. And they use it against you, even if it's not even in that moment, it could be months after they throw that in your face. that's a very vindictive person. That's a person that cannot love you. They may show it in their actions, but that's a big, big, big red flag. But that person is basically building up arsenal against you. Like they have the ammunition, you know, for whenever they choose to use it. That's abuse. And we don't correlate that in our culture. We think it's cute for you to go back and forth with your girl and your chick. No, that's abuse. That's somebody that is using your vulnerable, raw moments against you. Like, what? There's no coming back from that. How do you trust somebody like that? And a lot of people, you know, because they're hurt and shameful of whatever they told that person, and they're not sitting in their own feelings about it, they will deflect and be like, oh, you know, she was just joking and she was just, you know, whatever. But no, that person took a real low job at you. You got to take that into account. That's not fair.
Right.
Anybody who's going to love you is going to nurture those low sides of you. They're not going to speak ill of it or talk bad about you when you leave because they mad. Like, no.
I mean, yeah, you on point right now, Love Coach Kings. I'm loving everything you've given the listeners right now out here. So one of the things also you said, you know, the no go-to topics for the first date, like talking about your ex, you know, sexual intent, strong political beliefs, family drama, medical issues. Why are those five key points no go-to topics? Because I know a lot of people do touch one of them sometime, and a person, maybe a man or woman, may ask about what happened with your ex. Is that a good thing to ask or no?
I would say no. For the first date, absolutely not. Because for one, you're gonna rub that person wrong. If you're speaking about something that's in your past, it don't really sound like it's in your past. And anybody that's coming to you right now wants you to be present with them. And that's a big thing. We don't stay present with people. We talk about all the things we want and all the things we lost. But you trying to connect with somebody, it gotta be this, me and you. And people like to dive to the ex because they're not really over their ex, and that's the truth. And low-key subconsciously, they're comparing whoever's in front of them to their ex. So if somebody brings up their ex to you on that first date, I would walk away. And I've done it. Because that person kept talking, like they would ask me a question, right? And I would say, oh yeah, you know, I like this. Oh, my ex like this. All right. After the third time, I'm out the door. I literally was asking to go to the bathroom and left. Because that person, it don't even make no sense. That person, even if you sit there, even if I sat there and say, you know what, I think you need to figure this situation out, it wouldn't connect. So I just left. But when you hear that, that's a red flag. And people need to be cautious of that. If somebody's going to talk about their ex, and even if it's slight, take note of that. Because it's probably going to happen every single time. If it happened on the first date, you're going to hear about this ex every single time. And you want somebody that's going to show up and be present for you, want to know about you right now.
Right. So, you know, you just mentioned red flags. So most of them are going to talk about men because that's what you deal with. Why do most men ignore the initial red flags, and then down the line, you know, after they break up, they say, well, you know, I should have never did this because I saw this. So why do Black men ignore these initial red flags?
I have my own opinion, but I'm gonna tell you guys the opinion that I got from my clients and why they done it. Okay. And usually it's because they got to a place where they felt their next girlfriend had to be something. She had to look good, smell good, booty got to be round and fine, face got to be cute. And if that shows up, they're going to take that, right? And then when the red flags come in, like a jealousy thing, like, oh, you know, I'll go, like she'll say to him, I'll go beat your ex up or something. And that should be like, okay. But then he reads it back as, oh yeah, she really liked me because she want to go beat my ex up. You know, completely misinterpret the red flag. So society has taught, I feel, Black men that you should want something. And if that something show up, then you can slide on the attitude. You can slide on, you know, the fast mouth, the slick mouth. You can slide on the mental abuse. You can slide on it. But those are the things that we let slide that end breaking up the relationship. Because you realize that person, she meets some type, whatever that criteria is, may be physical. It may just be she listens to you and you really, really like her. You wanted to go somewhere. But that red flag comes, and because that's the one need you focused on, then you won't see nothing else. We gotta stop that.
I mean, yeah, that can't be good. But you know, even though we ignore the red flag, and then you get to a toxic persona, such as like she needs control, she's narcissistic, you know, she is emasculating you, you know, the jealousy, and then the one my favorite is always she can't do nothing wrong. She's always the damn victim. That's my favorite one. She's always the victim.
Yeah, we have those too. Yep.
So what, like, these steps, they happen, you know, at all times. So for my male listeners, you know, we always speak about women shooting their shot. Why is this so hard for them to shoot a shot? I know we don't like rejection. Is it the same on the same plate? They don't like rejection as well.
Absolutely. We don't know. And society has told us to be chased. So women will literally sit down and wait till a man chases her. He's gonna have to get up from way down, even though y'all stare each other down for 6 hours. She's gonna wait for you to step up and say something to her. She's not gonna approach you because there is this notion, again, like I said earlier, that we should not bruise a man's ego because he's gonna clamp up, he's gonna shut down. And that's the biggest fear of Black women, that a man gonna clamp up and shut down. And it happens all the time. We don't know how to communicate. But it's like inevitable that it's gonna happen because I don't know. I don't know how to explain that.
No, explaining how you feel, because we feel as though, you know,
I just don't think Black really ready.
I mean, research has shown that, you know, 70% of relationships happen because women shoot their shot, and we realize, like, when she really shoot her shot, it makes it easier for us because we know she's feeling us. But when we come shoot our shot and we gotta jump through these hurdles, and you know, I gotta do this, I gotta do that,
chase.
and I'm not
a lot
sure.
of women believe you still gotta chase. So you can come over, but you still gotta chase. You still gotta go. She may want you and you're the only person that she has eyes on, but she's still gonna put you a couple of ringers because her girlfriends told her that, wait, you gotta make sure he's not the same thing like the last one, you know? So she has bugs in her ears now telling her you gotta jump through some hoops because the last one, she's not trying to go through that no more. So yeah. Again, I don't think Black women we're working on it. I believe I've met many coaches working with Black women to get us to a place where we are also vulnerable and just lower the wall so we can accept somebody to be who they are and show up like just that. But it's gonna take some time. And I feel like men should not, you know, just still be open. Don't fear that rejection. Don't fear that rejection. Be yourself. If she gonna reject you, move on. She ain't the one. You know?
Right. But I know I watched the video, but I remember this vividly when you spoke about, you know, her intuition. I remember vividly, you know, explain to the fans. I remember it vividly. I remember watching it, but you know, you spoke about her intuition, you know, about, you know, well, we already spoke about the friend zone. So just like her intuition, was like, I guess I'm trying to say is like where she knows you the one, or where she doesn't know, then she doesn't think you the one.
You mean from
like,
the title? You mean my business name? How I got to my business name?
No. How you got to your business, man? I think it was called the Golden Minister or something like that. I can't remember the Holden thing that you said. I can't remember everything about it, but we could just skip over that and just go into like, what are some of the subtle ways that we can approach women, you know, how we can approach women? Because I know some women don't like men walking up to them, say, hey, beautiful, hey, sexy, all these, all boo boo, and all these other names. Like, how can we actually approach women to get a response?
So I'm gonna tell you this one thing. Let women choose you guys, please. It makes a woman feel good when we throw out choosing signals to a guy and then he approaches. Men mess up, I feel like, because they have an interest in a woman and they have not made that connection yet. subconsciously with that woman, you know, because we all can do it. You can tell when a woman kind of feeling you or not. Let her choose you. Because it makes you, like you said, it makes so much easier for the guy to know where he stands. So he don't have to do the hey baby, what's up? You don't have to do that. You have certain choosing signals that women will give you, even if it's online, that you will know, all right, this is something that I can introduce myself. And that's all you got to do, really. No gimmick, no sexy, beautiful. Just be like, hey, my name is this. That's it. Smooth and easy. But it's whatever you say, end up saying to her, it will be so much easier and it'll go down so much better if she's giving you these choosing signals that she's interested in you coming over.
Right.
Online is different. That's a little more tricky because everything is based off matches. So approaching a woman online, yeah, you're gonna have to bring out the swag bag for that one.
Yeah, but that's the way we relish now. It's like back in the day. I mean, you know, back in 2003, if you met somebody online, people would say you're fucking crazy for meeting somebody online. Now it's the norm.
Yeah.
So it's like it's the norm, but we still get these issues, and this is something that we went through. I posted in the group probably like 2 weeks ago. You know, I was trying to get people to establish some type of friendship or some type of connection, saying, hey, it's Valentine's Day coming up. Won't you go on a virtual date? And nobody decided to sign up to go for a virtual date. But when I say men going to treat women to lunch, I get 500 cash apps easily. But you don't want to go on but you tell me you want a relationship. But when I say, hey, try to establish try to establish some type of communication and relationship with somebody through a virtual date, but you don't want to do it, but you want me to send you random money.
I have the perfect question. Not question, well, observation.
Okay.
Again, this notion of changing how people show up. If you put out that if you want to meet genuine people, make a genuine connection, and nobody showed up, that meant nobody in that group who actually wants a genuine connection. If you put out, hey girls, guys going to treat for lunch and they show up, that's the caliber of woman that's in your group. So the goal is not wrong, right? But you got to step back and realize who is, you know, being genuine about what they want. So if nobody showed up for that opportunity to really make an interesting like situation happen, but they want lunch, think about the group. You know, people, again, they want that aesthetics of Black love and a great relationship, but people are not willing to look inward and really prophesize what they want over their life and manifest it. They're not ready. They don't know what it is. They're still stuck on the aesthetics of a man taking care of them. But let me do note this. There's different calibers of women out there. Okay. None seem like they showed up that day. But there's different calibers that will jump on an opportunity to make sure that they put in positions because they're ready to. They want that. They want to meet a great guy. That didn't show up that day. That means nobody, in my opinion.
No. We take your opinion. We're going to take your opinion very, very, very seriously, because that's what we try to do in this whole HBC singles thing. We want to put people together, but it's just like your handshake ain't matching your smile. Like we're trying to give you a genuine connection to say, okay, maybe you might go out with the person. Somebody might say, okay, like for instance, I may say, Love Coach King, let's go on a virtual date. We go on it. You may just say, hey, I wasn't feeling the vibe that night. You know, I'm not feeling you. So, okay, you got to accept the rejection, but just don't show up at all. But when I say, hey, let's treat these women to lunch, and everybody's,
it says a lot.
Free money.
It says a lot.
Right.
It says a whole lot.
Right. It definitely
says again,
a lot.
I don't want you to think your intention is amazing. Don't ever stop that. Don't ever stop that. That's amazing. That's a great bridge. If you can cross that bridge to get women and men genuinely interested in making connections, you're doing it. So don't ever stop that. That's a great goal. Maybe you just need to like change the messaging to really pull out those heartstrings over there. You know what I mean? Like really dive deeper into what do people want, and then bridge that gap, what people want and their expectations. Like, you know, people who have the same genuine mutual interest, start with them.
Yeah,
But let
I
people work,
totally,
let people show
yeah,
up though for you, you know, don't ever stop
I
that quest.
I totally get that. So now my next thing comes to this. Women that are bitter. How do men, and how do men break? Is there some type of formula that we can break that wall? Because you're bitter because what your
No,
ex did? There's no way.
we're doing it. We're doing the same thing again. That's the thing what people do wrong. Cannot change people, cannot fix people. A lot of us out there, we have the biggest heart and we want the greatest for everybody, right? So even if that person is our spouse, we see the greatness in them. We cannot date people for potential. We can't. All right. And even though they have everything else great for them, that one hindrance that they cannot let you into, like that vulnerability. If a woman's going to be bitter even when she's with you, then why is she with you? There should be a different type of comfort level with you because she chose you.
Right.
So she should be able to feel vulnerable enough, okay enough, safe enough with you to talk. If she's going to be bitter, why do not date that? That's not, no, that's the whole thing you're going to have to try and change. And when you're, the thing about people pleasers too and codependence in relationships, if you try to change somebody, you'll actually project. Let me calm down. The patois came out a little bit. But if you are trying to change somebody and they don't change because it's not your role to change them, you'll start to become bitter. And that's what happened to a lot of people. You'll see the potential in them and you're like, she's such a great woman. She does all these things, but every time it comes to another man, it's like she's bitter, she cuts me off, she don't let me in. And you will stay with her for all the other great things. And then that one thing is where that's not for you to heal. And people will try to change her and make her open up. You're only going to push somebody away because that's not your work. That's that person's work. So we got to stop normalizing trying to fix and change people and heal people. We only
can men be bitter too? Absolutely.
I see them every day.
So take me through one of you don't have to say no names, but take me through one of your bitter men. What has happened? How did you get him out of his bitter stage?
I will post something about women appreciating men. It could be the smallest thing, buying the guy flowers or something, or just a woman. I actually made a post where I said how to love a Black man. And you had a couple of black men under there who were like, yeah, they'll do all that and still cheat. And then you have Black women on there like, we could do all that and they would still cheat, so they actually pin themselves out. The bitter ones like come and they'll message me and be like, wait, so what happened to the men who still gonna cheat if you do all of that and pour all your all into it? And so it's like, both sides can have that bitter type of feel about really dating and relationships and opposite sex, but that ain't for me to, sit there and try to change. That has to be something where they come to realize themselves who's really bitter.
Right.
It's really you that's holding on to that poison, hoping that a person die. Hope they end up with a fat person. You know what I mean? Like some ridiculous, we'll sit there and wish so much hate on that person, not willing to move on. We're the ones that are bitter about it. And we carry that bitterness into another relationship. And you will if you don't heal it, right? You project it. So you put that onto that person, usually that guy who is ready to be that king for her, ready to step up and try to heal. But you can't heal somebody. So you'll end up being the target. You'll end up being the punching bag for her and her bitterness. So it's not even fair to you. No, right. Guys, let that go.
I see you, Black Marvel. And here's a question from one of the viewers right now. Why do women keep saying they want something real and then get something real, and the end result is they either lash out, withdraw, or bail?
Because they're not ready for it. It goes back to a lot of people wanting the aesthetics of Black love, but not ready to sit there and really be like, wait, hold on. I'm not ready for this. You'll get a lot of people actually will be in a place where they're toxic, but they'll come across a person, not meant for them, but meant to show them something, right? And they'll show up and you're like, wait, this too good to be true. So you'll have the people that dial back and be like, nah, something wrong. Somebody sent her. This can't be right. And you'll have the people who jump into it really, really quick because they'll try to like stifle, control that person. You got to be mine because you're everything that I think that you want, that I want you to be. So it's,
right.
That makes sense? Like you.
It makes a lot of sense.
I don't know. I just feel like people just need to be honest, and you're gonna show up as one version, but when you're faking it, you're gonna see that person's true colors eventually. You're gonna see their true colors, even if it take that's why relationship don't even pass 6 months, because people will show up saying they want a great relationship. And when that person either shows up, they're not ready for it, right? They'll still sabotage it, push it away, or they'll jump onto it and stifle that person and want to control that person and only want, become clingy because they can't believe that that person is showing up. That makes sense?
Okay. It makes a lot. Listen, Love Coach Kings, it makes a lot of sense. I definitely want to dive into your, touching her soul and not her body. I definitely need to dive in that. Touch her soul, not her body. Has to do with everything with emotions. Let's jump in that. Not just touching her body.
So this would speak to the woman who has done her work to heal, who is not impressed by, sex, trying to jump in bed with you because she like you. This is a woman who wants to connect with you first, because there's an end goal for her where she wants a whole, person, a person who has done their work and healed. So a woman who's not really like interested in the sexual part is not going to put herself out there trying to jump on you, trying to do all of that. So you need to speak to her soul. So when I say soul, I mean connection. Dive deeper. Not the question like, what's your favorite color? How many kids not like that, but like, what is your passion? What do you want to, like, what are you on the road to accomplish? Do you dive deeper? A woman who you get her open like that emotionally, and she trusts you and she relies on you, and that's a genuine connection between both of you. You're not even going to touch her body. You're going to touch her soul. You know what I mean? Like, don't focus on trying to touch her body, touch her soul. When you have a woman open like that, pardon my words, she becomes the freakiest, whatever you want, because that connection is strong. And you can't get to that elation that everybody's trying to get to when it comes to sex in a relationship. It takes time to build a connection with somebody where you're completely free physically. So you might even get her in bed with her for the first date or whatever, but you're probably not going to pass that, because a woman who's willing to just give this is guarding that part. And that's the part you want to get to, which is her soul. So you'll freely get this and it'll be great. And women will trap men like that. Great this and that. But toxic as hell. They don't want a relationship. They're willing to manipulate and abuse a man. But this is what they have to offer. So think about it. If you want an honest, genuine woman to build a connection with, if she's going to throw her body at you, that's all she has to offer.
Got you. And this I watched this video before we actually got you on, where you were talking about women want foreplay, not 2K. Women are more mental.
I stand by that very religiously.
Okay, you stand by it very religiously. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
So they want more than you just playing 2K. So, but say that's just like our way to get out of, not our way to get out of things, but that's like our
release.
Our release. That's our release.
Yep.
We need to play a game or something, but she doesn't want you to play the game, but you gotta come straight into another situation.
I play games too. All right, let's play games together. I'm not talking about playing the game. 2K is not even an issue. Really, it's not even an issue.
Right.
You can have your PS5. You can have that. But when there's no time, no boundary of healthy, like, quality time with your woman, every time you get free time, you want to go on a game, that's when a woman is going to be like, all right now, hello, I'm still here, I still exist. There has to be a healthy balance with every single part of your life. And I don't think there's a balance when it comes to video game, because you'll be on a video game for hours. But when you are, what men don't realize and what women see is when you connect to something in the space of your woman, right? Not even your woman, it could be anybody in your household. Usually it's just you and your woman. You disconnect from your woman for 8 hours on something, you can pause.
Right.
it reads back something different to women, right? Especially if you've been gone all day, you're at work. When are you back? Where's the balance? There has to be balance, and it cannot be a woman complaining. If she's complaining, more than likely she's complaining for a reason, and it can't be nagging. Listen to what she's saying. Look at your patterns. Are you on your video game 9 hours a day? When do you have time to have a full-time job? Do that. It has to be balanced, and I feel like a woman who's not insecure, right, and is being approached on a well-balanced situation. She has her time with her man, and he has his space. You should have your life still and your different friends and everything, and have your life. But where's the balance? A woman who has that balance and still feels reassured in a relationship, she's not going to complain about the 2K. She's going to be happy because she getting a break. She can go do something herself. But there has to be balance of you guys bonding and connecting, and a continuous balance. And that's where women will emotionally cheat, because you have emotionally stepped out. So you got before you point the finger about your woman nagging about you being on the phone or your video game or whatever, look at your patterns. Are you giving it balance? Are you really giving her a reason to complain? And that's what
I got you. And then we had this conversation last week. This is one of the biggest conversations we always have about dates. Who pay for dates? And at this, and the research, well, not the research, but the majority of the group basically stated, if I ask you out, you ask me out, whoever asks who out has to pay. But some women feel as though like, yo, I should never have to pay for anything. Like, what goes on in that nature? Like, what is the mindset with that right there?
I do believe whoever asks, whoever asks that person on a date, usually it's a guy, right? And I think that's the problem. Women don't do enough to step up and ask for men on dates. So it kind of gets into this pattern that we expect men to pay for everything. But when you're really with a guy, you really value him and his time, and he makes effort for you continuously, you are going to want to pay for a date, to show you reciprocate that. If that's an issue for a woman, first date is different. If he reached out to that woman, you reach out, you gotta, in my opinion, you gotta pay. But if you're in a solid relationship, or even if it's just first dates and she's like, yo, meet me for coffee or lunch, it's on her. But if you're in a relationship, we need to do more about treating our men and bringing our men on date, and don't always have to rely on the guy to pay for everything. Nobody wants that. I wouldn't even want that. I would want my man to feel pampered and catered to as well.
I totally get you. I totally definitely get you. But my thing is that I always look at, like, you want to go out with your guy that night, but you don't want to ask him because you feel the need. Well, you feel that you're going to have to flip the bill. So it's like, you're going to be quiet, and he might just say, in his mind, like, listen, I'm really tired, so I just want to go to sleep. And then you catch an attitude because you really want to go out. Why not just step up and say, hey, I want to go out tonight?
That sounds like some miscommunication. I feel like if she wanted to do something special for you, she should communicate it. If it's a surprise, then she shouldn't be in a position not to worry about footing the bill. That's a surprise. But if your guy is tired and you come home and you want to have this big, it needs to be considerate too. The plan needs to be considerate. If he out all day and want to come home and just go to sleep, that has to be a consideration. She need to plan that a little bit better versus kind of like doing it because it's going to make her feel good, which I feel like that's why she probably would catch an attitude. It didn't go her way. But if you're doing something selflessly for somebody, then it should be, courteous. Like, all right, you got to work. Let's do it on a day on the weekend. Let me plan it for a weekend so he won't have nothing to do and, dive into this moment with me. It's just really communication and that consideration.
Right. Now, I'm going to bring a topic that most men probably feel sensitive about,
Oh, all
and
right.
I realized this. Some of it, we always mention women have daddy issues.
Yes.
Some of us have mommy issues.
Absolutely.
So for the men out there that actually have mommy issues, how is a woman to approach a man that has a mother issue?
The same way a man should approach a woman with daddy issues. Allow that person to grow and not hold yourself accountable for that growth.
Right. You know, because I mean, they
So,
always say you got mommy issues. I'm listening. Go ahead.
So, for example, mommy issues. Let me just break down what mommy issues is, in my opinion. It is that wound, right? That it could be abandonment. It could be rejection. Your mother never told you I love you a lot. Your mother was very aggressive towards you because she wasn't showing love. So you're very aggressive towards women. You probably saw abuse growing up. It can go in all different, aspects and spectrums. But mommy issues for men is usually abandonment.
Right.
And you'll have a guy who has mommy issues who will become codependent because of that. He will be clingy. He will always be checking on his girl. He'll always buy her expensive gifts and make her feel comfortable because deep down, he's very, very afraid of abandonment. So you'll have him overcompensate for her to stay. That's really what I think mommy issues is, that codependency. And just, will do anything for that woman, even if that woman is nothing good for him. So a woman approaching a man with mommy issues, I feel, has to be approached in the same way if it was flipped. If you see, a person who is codependent, is relying on you way too much emotionally, right? You got to show up for yourself, you got to show up for her. It's too much, right? So once you start to get drained, you need to say something. So she would have to say something to him and be like, listen, hold on now. In the most loving way. That's the best. It's not even what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. We got to find a way to communicate to each other in a loving way where that person don't feel more shame. Because anybody with an issue really has shame tied behind it. And they're going to retreat instead of opening up. So we got to figure out a way to cross that boundary communication wise. But it's not your responsibility at the end of the day, that woman, to deal with that. And if you're the guy with the mommy issues, it has to be your responsibility to change it. You cannot depend on anybody else to make you feel secure, because that's really what it is. Not feeling secure with a woman because you never felt secure with your mom. She abandoned you, right?
Right.
You got to come to a place where you're securing yourself, or you're gonna attract people who want to control you, right? Who wants to keep you like this. And you're gonna stay there, and they know you're gonna stay there because you have mommy issues. You don't want her to leave anyway. So you'll take abuse and everything. So you have to be very careful. If you're the person with the mommy issue, not you. Okay, oh my God. I feel like I'm not you guys.
No, I'm listening.
All right. If you're a king, a Black king out there, you feel like you have mommy issues, you kind of become clean when you meet a woman, and you kind of want to prove to her that you're the one, that you're an amazing man, you're already doing it wrong. Dial that back and look inward. Really see, do you have mommy issues? Do you have problems with codependency? Are you afraid that a woman's going to leave you? Are you afraid of rejection? Dial in, and don't be afraid to dial in with yourself and figure out what it is. Because if those parts that you're afraid of happening, you're so afraid of it, law of attraction, you're so afraid of, you're putting so much energy into it not happening, it will always happen. That person who's always in a relationship with a cheater, they'll keep prophesizing it. They go to their mom telling, oh, he's a cheater. Go out, I always find cheaters. Tell her friends, it's always a cheater. And then a cheater always shows up because you're living in that space, and you're going to attract the type of energy you're putting out there. So we got to switch it. Yeah, that would be my answer.
No, I definitely get it. It was something, I had another question, but I can't even damn remember. But I definitely know. Okay, here we go. Black Marvel again. Why do women spurn cordial greetings?
Why do women what?
Why do women spurn cordial greetings?
Well, why they don't like it?
Yeah, why do they spurn them?
I feel like that would be a woman who is not very secure in herself. Well, let me hold on. Let me dial it back, because that's not fair. It depends on how you're approaching a woman, right? Let's say it's daytime, lunchtime. You see a beautiful woman, you walk up to her, you tell her a nice greeting, she's like, more than likely that rejection is not about you. 90% of the time, she's on her way to something. She in her head, she's trying to get back to a meeting, and she won't necessarily give you a great, remark. Or you have the people who just uncomfortable. A lot of women don't know how to take compliments. Just don't. It's uncomfortable for them, and they will shut you down. Even though your genuine intention was just a compliment, she don't know how to deal with that.
Right.
Again, is that what you want? Or do you want a woman to be like, yes, thank you for noticing that I'm beautiful? Because you handsome too, King. You want women who's sure about themselves, and not in a cocky way, but just they know their worth. They've been through a lot. They've healed. So, you know what I mean? If that's a turn off for them, it's going to be a turn off forever. And it's not your responsibility to make them like it.
Now, what did it say? How do you feel? Well, the Mighty One says, how do you feel about the term female?
Female?
Yes. How do you feel about the term female?
In what regard?
Oh, that's all they said. How do you feel about? Because I know one thing is this big thing right now is just like.
You mean feminism?
Feminism. You can't say the word female.
Okay.
All of this crazy. You got to remove manhole and this, that, and the other. There's a lot of people that are not agreeing with the term female. Some women say, "Hey, that's my gender, and I'm gonna stick with it," but they don't want to be called female. I don't know, but I'm guessing that's what she's asking.
I've never actually heard that. A woman not wanting to be called female. If we're talking about feminism and that whole movement of just pro-female and only pro-female, then that's different. But I've never actually heard somebody, I don't want to comment on that because I've never had experience. But when I hear female, I just think of the sex. I don't think nothing deep unless we're talking about feminism.
Got you. Somebody said they love your accent.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I feel like I don't hear it, but everybody else hear it, so I'll take it.
So before I let you go, because I don't want to hold too much of your time up, because I know you got other things to do. I know you got other things to do, but I definitely have to ask you this. One of the posts that you said, this is for my males right here. If you want to be together, you have to go get her. You broke together down to go get her. So what would you implying right there?
3 years old. You really went all the way back.
I told you I was a fan.
I appreciate it. It's a compliment. That made me feel good. All right, yeah, but I do remember that. What did you want to know about that? What I meant?
What do you mean like that? To go, you need to go get her. Like, how is somebody who feel as though they want this woman, but they feel as like she's out of her league, out of his league? How do you build up the confidence to say, I want her, I need to go get her?
I think you have to get to a place where you are confident in what you're selling. Not necessarily, I don't want to use words selling, but we're putting ourselves out there, right? For people to judge. So if you are not confident within yourself, it's going to read as, to her, that is, you're not that confident. You're kind of saying things to sound smart, to sound like sexy or whatever, and it's not genuinely you. So in order to portray that to a woman and you want to go get her, you got to know your worth and what you're about to bring to this woman. It can't be, I'm a nice guy, but I don't really have boundaries. I'll allow people to walk over me, disrespect me, and then show up and expect her to be like, you know what I mean? Like, a woman will read through that. So who you are, whoever you are, you want to go get that woman, you got to be confident in that. And in my opinion, the way to get to that confidence is to stop fearing rejection.
Got you.
Stop fearing rejection. Rejection show up in every aspect of our lives. It's good. If a woman rejects you, that cuts your work in half. You ain't got to sit there and keep trying to convince her. Don't do yourself that disservice. Whatever you're putting out there, you want a woman, show up. And if she's not into it, she don't like it, thank you. I ain't got to waste my time, and keep it moving. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Got you. Before you go, if anybody needs your coaching, how can they reach you? What's your contact info?
Go over to Instagram. I love Coach for Kings. And you can literally find all of my information there, all of my services. And yeah, I only work with Black men. So Kings, let's go. Yeah, 2021, my mission is to get men to really dive into themselves and see their self-worth. So if that's something that you want to dive into, you're not sure how to dive into that, how to really get safe and comfortable with yourself so you can approach a woman, go to my Instagram. I love Coach for Kings, and I will talk to you there.
Oh man, thank you for coming through. My slogan is always,
Thank
this
you
is
for
my
having
house.
Thank you for having me.
This is my house, but you always welcome.
Okay.
Anytime you want to come, promote
All right.
yourself, because like I said, I've been a fan. I've truly been a fan. I've watched everything you've done since you started. So it's just like,
I
hey,
appreciate that.
you seen how I brought it back. One of your first joints.
You really did. You made me have to think like, wait, what video was that? Oh yeah. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
I am a fan definitely of you. Love Coach Kings on Instagram. Thank you for coming through. I'm sorry that I didn't set the club. I normally have an after party at Clubhouse where people could still get to talk to you if they had any questions. I don't know if you have an iPhone or anything like that.
I do have an iPhone and I do have an invitation. Do I need to sign up for it? Yes.
We gonna, I mean, tonight we're not gonna do it tonight because I didn't set it up tonight, but because I don't know if anybody's like ready to it, but I'm definitely gonna set one up. I'm gonna have Ava reach out to you just on a random day.
Later.
Yes.
And
we
we can
talk about it.
Have people come through and just reach you. Thank you for coming on. I had to have you on. I hounded Ava like, we got to get her on.
Stop it. I appreciate it.
We had to get her on. So definitely from me, Ava, the whole Amsterdam crew, thank you for coming out. Love Coach
Absolutely.
Kings.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Ava. Thank you guys. Seriously.
And to my viewers, there's no Amsterdam talk next week because we will be doing Family Feud next week. So we got some, you can come on through. I host Family Feud too. Yeah, I do it all. Shit.
Okay.
So there will be no Amsterdam talk next week. But for those who do listen to Sway in the Morning, I have Tracy G get ready to come on to talk about mental health and yoga.
Congratulations.
So
shoot.
Thank
That's
you.
big.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Rod as usual. Ava, my guest, love Coach Kings. Make sure you follow her on Instagram. Reach out to her for her intuition.com. Pay homage to everybody. Give her her flowers while she's still living. Thank you for coming through.
Appreciate